friends, welcome back to the channel. It is Angela, the Traveling Crafter, and I'm here for an official Wallpaper Wednesday where we are going to transform these composition notebooks into something that work better for myself. And you may agree as well. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's talk a little bit about what you're going to need. You're going to need some composition notebooks. These that I got were from Walmart for 38 cents during back to school. And here's why we're going to do this project. So one thing I don't care for in writing in a composition notebook is that they don't lay flat. And so I'm always finding myself holding down the page, and then I get weird about my writing, and if it doesn't all look pretty, then I'll tear out the page and start over. So, you know, there's that. So I have like 3 or 4 different ways that we can transform these so that they work better for Angela. And I don't know if you guys feel the same way about this or not, but this is just a preference for me. So these are one big signature, as you can tell, and they're sewn in right here. So all you need to do, and I've already done it in the one we're going to work through. And so all you need to do is basically pull these out just like this and go all the way down, and they come right out. I shall show you. So that's going to be your first step. And I just used this little X-Acto knife. And what they turn out to be is you'll have this in here. Don't worry about it for right now. And all of your pages are intact and they're all together. So you're going to need the composition notebook. You're going to need to take it apart. I have some med tape. I have, of course, we're done with this now. We can put the X-Acto knife away. I've got a pencil, some scissors. I've got a pokey tool. I have my needle that I'm going to keep up there so I don't lose. And we need some sort of twine. I'm going to just use baker's twine for this one. So we've got that, and you need some wallpaper, and I've already trimmed mine down to size, but you'll need some kind of trimmer or your scissors in order to make that happen. But I didn't want to suck up a ton of time in doing so. So I have 3 pieces of wallpaper that are coordinating that I'm going to be using. Unfortunately, with the size that I had, I couldn't get the inside front cover and the back side front cover the same design. So all you're going to do, first of all, let me say hello to everybody. Hello, everybody. I'm so glad that you are here. If you are new here, thanks for coming back. If you like the video, leave a comment. Tell me your ideas. I would love to hear them. And if you haven't tried the new hype button, if you like it and you want others to see it, you just slide to the left in the comments. There's 3 little dots, and it will say hype, and you just hit the hype button, and it's so much fun. So before I cut anything down, what I did, now you don't have to do it this way, but it worked well for me. And this is just another example of the no-sew, well, pretty much no-sew, journal compilation. So putting it all together. So what I did is I just took actually what I think I did, yes, I just closed my composition notebook that made sure I was measuring the cover. And then I just used my pencil and drew around it, and then took it like this, left the binding on it, and took it like this, and did the same thing, kept drawing all the way around it so I had a line, then cut it out. Because those pages were too big, I couldn't use my trimmer for all of it. So that's all you need to do at this point. But we need to tackle this cover. My gosh, I've got glue everywhere. Glue and ink, and I've been working hard this morning because I found out that I'm going to camp. Now, wait a minute. Before I tell you the story, let me just tell you. All we're going to do is can you see where there's this part where it bends? You're just going to cut at this line right here. Now you could easily just use your X-Acto knife or whatever you've got, but I kind of found that it was easier for me to see anyway to just use scissors, but I'll give it a go. You just got to use a little bit of muscle, and it does help make it a lot more straight, that's for sure. All right, so this one's done. This is the back cover, so set that aside. Now we're going to turn this, well, let's see, should we do it this way? Let's do this, see if we can get it about even. The other thing that I recognized with these, and you know, I haven't played a lot with, you know, I've just done a regular cover. And I did one when I was up at the lake, and that kind of brought me to the reason I'm doing these videos is, or this video is because it kept flopping open or flopping closed. And I was like, oh, I can't stand this. And that one had like a plasticky cover on it, so it was even worse. But don't worry about this. I'm going to cover these because the colors, as you saw, the pinks don't really go with the black. So now you have your cover. And what I ended up doing is I left some extra on, after I measured it to be here, I left this extra here because we're going to want kind of our soft spine, if you will, right here. So these are for me, so I didn't worry too much about, you know, all the details. You may want to add a little bit of med tape on here or something Tyvek if you have it that doesn't have writing on it that you would put in here to sturdy it up. But for me, I think it's going to be fine. I'm not that hard on notebooks. Now, before we go any further, let me show you my prototype, and then I goofed on the first one. So I had to do another one because I was like, oh my gosh, what am I thinking? Again, see right here? There's just a little, it's not straight. Like, and none of them are the same size. So I wouldn't suggest you going and just cutting them all the same because it seems like every notebook is different. So what I forgot to do on this, what should happen is this piece of wallpaper should be longer and attached to this first page. I didn't do that. So this is a little bit loosey-goosey. I could fix it by putting some washi or something on here so it kind of stays intact, and I can do that on the back as well. I haven't yet. On these, I did turn these into pockets. So that's where my pockets are on this. But I really should have had this orange coming all the way over to here. And this dragonfly all the way over to here. But it's okay. It's just for me. And then the second one I remembered. But again, it was not even. And so I had to kind of finagle it a little bit, which we'll probably have to do on this one as well. But in this one, I got it right. So I used this entire piece to cover the first page of paper. Uh-oh, that got glued together a little bit. And so you can still see the wallpaper through it. And then I did the same on the back. And I just used this plain one. And then I did, instead of doing the pockets on the side, I had this extra paper. Oh, I guess I didn't glue that. So I just made this a little, how did I forget that? I don't know. So we're going to do this style for our notebooks. And it's just nice. What I intend to do now that I have them adjusted is, because they don't take up a lot of room, is I'll use these as my normal, I have a planner, but I always like to have a notebook. And I think these will sit nice on my shelf and not take up a lot of room, because you know how I feel about a bunch of stuff on my shelves. So that is what we're aspiring to. So the first thing that we are going to do is the inside cover. Let me make sure I have these. Yes, we're good. So what we're going to do is we're going to take, I want on the front, can you guys see okay? Yeah. I'm going to put this underneath me. All right, we're going to move the cover out of the way. And we are going to take the front cover and this piece of pretty pink sparkly paper. And I might have to trim it down because, like I said, no two are alike. And I kind of left it a little bit longer just in case, because the pages are not quite as wide as the cover. So I don't want to be without enough space inside. Does that make sense? Like I want to make sure this gets covered. I can always trim down the excess on this. All right, all you're going to do, I should probably take these off, this off. Let me see, I want it to go this way. So I'm going to turn this way. And all you're going to do, and this is how we're hinging this together, and it will be permanent. Oh, wait a minute. No, we're not. We are not going to do that. We need to sew it together first. You know, it would be too hard for me to do this, but it would be kind of cool. So it would be kind of nice to just take my twine and just, maybe I could do it with a smaller needle. Let me see if it will go through there, because it'd be kind of cool to just hinge it back. Let's try it. Might take a little bit longer in this video, but let's give it a go. And I'm just going to leave this connected. Let's see if I can get this through the smaller eye of the needle. Dave was planning on having a day at home. It's Saturday when I'm filming this. And he was going to, well, he still is going to mow the lawn, but he was going to watch football. Iowa State plays today. And that kind of went down the tube. So he had to go run a bunch of errands, and our lawnmower had an issue, so he's got to take it to get it fixed, and I think he's going to hand mow everything, which, you know, there you go. It's his workout of the day. Oh my gosh, come on now. This does not have to, where's my needle threader when I need it? I thought I had one, but do I have one here? Do I have one here? Oh, here. These aren't the greatest, but it'll work. Because this is baker's twine, and it just gets all discombobulated. Come on. There we go. There we go. Now, let's just try this. And I'm going to leave a long, pretty long string at the top. Should I go through the bottom? Nah, we'll go through the top. I'm just going to sew this back up just like it was. All right, I am back. You know, I still better not undo that. That was indeed Dave calling me. And he wanted to tell me how excited he was because he got a whole bunch, which he did this last year. And I was like, and one year he wanted to buy a whole truck full of corn. And I get it. I mean, it's great to buy it like that and then be able to make it and freeze it, because there's nothing better than sweet corn. Especially Iowa sweet corn. But I'm like, I don't want to have to do that. But he was very excited. And then he stopped by he calls it the Amish store. It is not. They are, I think it's the Mennonite store. And they bake all kinds of fresh stuff. And he got a bunch of fruit and vegetables. I don't know if this is a good idea or not, because here, but I'm afraid Okay, let me think this through. I could also just tie it this way, which, oh, let's just do that. And then if I want to put little trinkies on it, I can do that. But I don't want this to be too tight. You know what I mean, Jelly Bean? Let's just get this off of here because I don't want to lose it. I've got certain little needles that I use all the time. So now, and yes, I know I could just shop before, well, no, because the sale's on Tuesday, so I really don't have time to do that. So I am going to get everything I need and bring it with me, plus a couple projects. I did put my travel bin together, so we're just going to leave that because, you know, I like it. But there we go. There's what it looks like on that side. So if I would have done it the opposite way, if I would have started from the bottom up, I could have tied it on the back, which probably would have been more ideal. Now, just to reinforce this, just for a little extra, we're just going to use this really, really, really strong med tape to reinforce this particular page. There's a bug right there. So yeah, this is truly the first day of my second year of true empty nesting. So it'll be good for me to be with Dave, and because, you know, it gets lonely. All right, there we go. Now we're done. Now we're ready to go down the rabbit hole of putting this on. Where is it? All right, so I want this one to be on the front. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to turn it this way, and we're going to glue it. And remember, when you do a note, technically I would not have had to sew this. I could have wrapped it around, but I don't like that because it starts to tear into the pages. So I'm doing a little sewing, but it could be a no-sew journal. And we're just going to leave about 1/4 to 1/2 inch from the cover, or from the spine. Okay, so now I want to show you this. Do you see how significantly longer this one is than that one? So I'm just going to clean this. Well, you know what? Let's see what happens if I don't, because really, do I care that that's just a little bit longer? It's only the first page. I mean, this is an experimentation. I am no pro at this. I just decided to try it. But see, here's where my lines were. So I cut a little bit longer than, or a little outside the line, just to see where it would end up. So now I want to make sure that's what it's supposed to be. And then I'm going to just do the same thing with the glue. About 1/4 inch away. Can you guys see all that? Not that you really care to see me glue, but I thought it was safe for me to just go ahead and pre-cut these, because everybody's is going to be, they're all different. And like, I have some ones that are even, they're not even the same size as these. So there is that. All right, now all I'm going to do is take this I'm going to go ahead and maybe, I need to push it down a little bit. And I'm going to put this right on this edge. And it is a little bit longer, so now I want to just kind of smush it down. And this Now I know exactly what I can cut. So this one, and like I said, I knew that going in on this one because I cut on the right side of the line that I had drawn just to be safe in case it wasn't long enough like the last one I did because it was wonky. So now I'm just going to cut at a very odd angle. And I'm going to do the same thing here, which I don't really need to do, but makes me feel a little bit better. And we are going to add a pocket on this with some of the excess. Oh, why is this not cutting? Oh, it's that medical tape. Come on now. A little piece of medical tape there. There we go. All right. So this is now on the front, and now we need to do the same thing on the back. It gets easier when you do the back because, oh gosh, luckily I did it right, but all right, so now we're going to do the same thing right here. Let me push this up a little bit. So we're going to, make sure this is not it. What was I going to use for the back? I was using this blue. Okay. So we're going to do this. You would think that by now I would be an expert because I've done 3 of them, but not so much because they're all a little bit different. But as far as I know, at the time of me filming this, which this will come, well, for some of you, it will be back to school already, but this back to school stuff is still out at Target and Walmart and Dollar Tree and all that good stuff. So you should be able to get some good bargains. But the cheapest that I found them were 38 cents at Walmart. And then I did buy some of the more expensive ones, like those ones with the like penmanship lined. Let's see how this one looks. Just going to press it down a little bit. And I should have a little bit extra there that I'm going to have to cut off. So let's put this on first before we decide if we're going to have to cut it or not. So we're good. Again, 1/4 inch away from the spine edge. And all that is going to do is solve my problem and leaves it enough room to actually lay flat. And that is why I'm really loving this no-sew project. And I've done, you know, like the no-sew spines before, but I watched, oh my gosh. It'll come to me. Anyway, I watched a video by somebody I really like. And she suggested staying away from here just a little bit. And I thought that was a good bit of advice. So now I'm just going to get that all straight there. But see, look, I mean, it was relatively straight when I cut it, but the pages are not straight. Now, I did cut, again, like I said, I cut it a little bit bigger. So, because on the last one, it was short on one edge. There we go. But at least now I can just cut one strip. I might have to go out of frame for a minute. And the other thing that I noticed is, like, when I did this the first time, not on the composition notebook, but when I put them together, I went overboard. Like I glued them, stuck them together, which is fine if you're going to do more than one signature. But with just this one signature, it's already sewn in basically to itself. So I mean, on these, I didn't even wait. I just put them all together. All right, so now we have our front cover. We have our back cover. We have all of our lovely pages in between. Super easy, but look, it just lays flat. No winky wonky. And some of you might be saying, why would you go to all that extra work? Well, because it drives me that nuts. And so, plus I think it's kind of fun. Okay, you can see through this. Do I care? Well, this is going to go on here. We're going to say no, because now it looks like pink marbling underneath it. So now again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just stay 1/4 inch away. And on the other ones I actually did the front cover, and then I did the back cover, and then I added that curved spine. But with this wallpaper, it's nice and heavy. I experimented to make sure it would work before, you know, I went all in, and it did. I mean, so you may have to trim it down. You could be more precise. I was just having a fun time with it, so I wasn't too worried about it. And they're fast. Like, I think probably maybe you can probably whip one out in 15 minutes or less if you're not talking and telling stories like I am. All right, so I want to just make sure one end is straight. Okay, so there we go. We're just going to make sure that's down well. Then all I do is go right here, and it has a little curve. Now, I could use my corner rounder, but it's just easier on that. And we're just going to make sure nothing shows there. I'm going to keep thinking that that's part of that. There we go. And our cover is essentially done. Now we're going to wrap this around here, and I should have, oh, I actually don't have a lot of extra. Huh. Okay. So if you wanted to make this into a true journal or your glue book or an art journal, you know, you could add more signatures. You could add, you know, different papers in between. You can do whatever. Oh, here we go. Every so often, I was wondering why that wasn't coming out. So this happened on my last glue bottle. This one happened a little bit sooner than normal, but I've got a hole in my Sugar Bell bottle. And it does happen. Now I need something to wipe off my hand. So I'll show you in just a second what I do to combat that, because I'm not giving up that Sugar Bell bottle yet, and I'm not ordering more. So I got a solution. All right, so what you're going to do is make sure... See what I'm saying? It's just like a smidgy. Luckily, that's the back. All right, now I have a little bit of excess here. I'm just going to cut that off. Oh, I didn't plan what I was going to put around the spine to make it pretty. Did I? There we go. Done. Now, you could just end it right here and you'd be all set to go. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this med tape, which will end up getting absolutely filthy as you use this, because you got ink on your hands and all that other stuff. But it seals up that leak. So... there we go. Problemo solved. I probably should put 2 around it. Yeah, I kept thinking, gosh, I just filled that not so long ago. Why is there like no pressure? There we go. All done. I won't get it all over myself. All right, so we could just leave it like this, but we're not going to. We are going to put a pocket in here. And I'm just going to leave this. This one I'm going to try differently. On this last one I did, I actually cut it, you know, a little V into it. Yeah, I better just do it. Okay, so all I'm going to do is, see, this piece isn't even, okay. And I'm not getting out my trimmer again. I'm just going to do this. All right, now we're just going to set this on here. And I'm going to fold it right where that is. I got to straighten this out. It's going to drive me crazy. But because this is longer than my trimmer, the way that I do that is just going like this. So I'm just going to put it in, and I'm going to take a half inch off, or well, no, a quarter of an inch off. All right, now it should be a little bit more even. All right, now I'm just going to take that center piece. I'm going to take my scissors, and I'm just going to cut kind of a slight V, but I'm not going to cut all the way through. I'm just going to go to about right there. And to right there. That way, when it closes, it should be okay. Now, I still want to make sure I'm not feeling, you know what? I'm just going to do this because it seems like it would be a better idea. Now, I'm going to put these two together. I am going to create a notch. I'm going to straighten both these out, and they may not be the same, the whole width of that side, but at least it will be closer. And remember, this wallpaper isn't always straight either because it comes out of the book, and I don't know about you, but if you have wallpaper books, I used to take out every piece, and I did that for about 8 wallpaper books. I have 89, not 89 anymore, but I did. And then I was like, this is for the birds. No, we're gonna just cut them out, and it was so much easier. Because truth be told, once you get to the end of it, you don't have very much left in that. I mean, and it's got little holes from where everything was, so it's absolutely not worth the time, the effort, and the muscle power needed. I'm going to make this a little bit smaller than what it, and I'm going to put these right above those. There's little flowers down here, just so I have a little bit on each side. That still looks crooked, but it's fine. Everything's fine. We'll do the same here. Make it a little bit shorter, just to, because we got wallpaper on wallpaper. And we're going to give that kind of about the same amount of edge there. Oh yeah, I like that. All right, now we are done with the inside. And I did pull out this So let's just trim this down pretty considerably. And I have this that's just a kid's thingy-majiggy. So let's see, how long is this one? 4 inches. So this currently is 5.5. So let's take a little bit off of that. This is embossed. Just I was playing with it, so it's not. Okay, 5 inches. And that should work. And then I'm just going to lay this so I can eyeball about how wide I want it. That should about do it. Got my scrap-a-rooskies. Good job, good job. Let me clean up a little bit of my mess here. And I could actually do a pocket on the back too, but I'm not going to. I'm not feeling it. Okay. Now on this one, I kind of feel like I want to leave that there because there's not a lot of action going on here. So I think maybe I'll put it down here. And maybe we'll make that a little pocket too. Okay, I'm going to make the edges pretty. All right, and this I'm going to leave like it is, but I am going to go ahead and put it on. And then we need to figure out what we're going to do for the spine, just to make it a little more pretty. I think I have some flat back pearls because this reminds me of pearls, or necklaces, so I think it would be cute. But I'm not going to put that on until we pick those out. So hold 1 second. Let me grab, if I have some lace. I could use the same lace that I just used. Let's see. It is pretty, and it does have the blue in it. Let's just do that. I'm going to cut it a little bit longer, just in case. All right, so let's put this on first. Let's put that out of the way. And then I'll grab the pearls. And the way I usually do this is I just put a little glue on at first. I kind of like on mine to not be glued solid down to the page. So I just put a little bit on it, and then I'm going to turn it. I'm going to put a little bit more, and I'll trim this up too. Right here. You don't need a whole lot. Let me use this. Let me trim this off too. And then I'm going to see. I know I have flat back pearls. I think it would be pretty. I think I need to have Dave sharpen these. I just jabbed that pin. It flew off and went right in my leg. It didn't hurt. Don't worry. I'm fine. Everything's fine. Seems to be the motto today. All right, let's let that sit there for just a second. Let me go grab some of those pearls. You know, I just bought... Oh, but I don't think they're flat back. Hang on. Getting into the bling drawer. And whole bag. Ooh, this would be pretty. But I'm only going to put this on the front because, just because. This is that princess stuff. I think I sold a bunch of this. It was like Belle or something. Oh, yeah, that's pretty, isn't it? All right, that's going to be it. I like it. It's very shabby, chic, girly. And there you go. Done. This needs to be a little bit shorter on this one side. Nope, I'm just going to leave it. So let's just do this one at the bottom. And I'm going to make this one into a pocket, which I'll probably not use, but hey, it's there. And when I do that sometimes, especially with embossed things, I just leave it separate. I like it. Pretty easy. Sorry that took so long. I forgot. Now I have to edit this because Dave called me. All right. Well, let me know what you think. Have you tried this before? Do you guys have the same issue that I do? In that, you know, it bothers you when it doesn't lie flat. And if so, this is a really good solution to that. So let's look at the ones that I created. And this one we did together. And then we have the dragonfly, which is so cute. Here, we'll do it like this. And the other pastel one. And we went from this to that. So I hope you enjoyed it today. And I hope you come back again. I would love to hear what your thoughts are, your ideas. And until next time, friends, remember to take time to just be. We'll see you soon. Cheers.